it's a group that there's a great spirit about them, and there's a certain toughness that they have to where they don't get down on each other. They challenge each other. They support each other, and it's been that way through the highs and lows. I mean, nothing's changed. That Adam mentioned that Raider game. Well, they just said, "Hey, we got to up our game." It wasn't us as coaches jumping up and down on them. They took it within themselves to say, "We know what we are and can be. We've got to do it." And I mean, that jumps out at me, just that attitude. I mentioned it after the Buffalo game. I mentioned it yesterday afternoon that there's a grit to that. And maybe you're not the most talented. Maybe you're not the fastest or the quickest or whatever, but let's go maximize what we are and let the chips fall where they may.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHP. Stephen St. John and Nate Bukaty with Jake Gutierrez and Laser the Intern. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Today on the show will be our normal Football Tuesday lineup with former Chiefs offensive lineman Joe Valerio at 7:30. Former Chiefs wide receiver Mark Boerichter in studio with us in the 8 o'clock hour. And Jeff Chadilla from NFL Network and NFL.com in studio with us in the 9 o'clock hour. We'll also have some comments from Andy Reid's Zoom call with the media from yesterday. And just to keep you updated on what the schedule looks like for this Super Bowl bye week for the Chiefs and media availability. So when you'll be able to hear from the players and coaches, there is no media availability either today or tomorrow. Then on Thursday, Andy Reid's going to have a press conference just before noon out at Arrowhead. Patrick Mahomes and then other select players will also be speaking to the media after Andy Reid, and then they'll have practice at 1:20. And then on Friday, you'll get the normal coordinators, Dave Toub, Matt Nagy, and Steve Spagnuolo at the podium, and then followed by a list of players that are selected by the club to speak to the media. And then on Saturday, no media availability. Then on Sunday, the team will depart for Las Vegas to get ready for Super Bowl week. And that will be, and only local media will be allowed to attend practice. And that will be all of the media availability, whoever goes to the podium. So, by comparison, last week, they would have Andy Reid and coaches and various players at the podium speaking to the media in press conference form, but they also had an open locker room on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 11:45 to 12:30 for about 45 minutes, where reporters could go into the locker room and speak to players that were not scheduled to be at the podium at all during the week. And that's still, 14 players were scheduled to be at the podium last week. So I don't know if it'll be as many, but just that's a good guess. I would say between 10 and 12 or so. But no open locker room, no media availability for the locker room this week, and so you'll just have the players available at the podium, which is disappointing for me because you get better answers, you get better conversations with players if you get a chance to talk to them, up close, face to face in the locker room in a more relaxed setting. But hey, it is what it is, And we'll have people out there at the Andy Reid press conferences, the coordinators' press conferences, and the players' press conferences, and have that sound for you throughout the week. But nothing today and nothing tomorrow. Media availability on Thursday and Friday, nothing Saturday and Sunday. The Chiefs head to Vegas for the Super Bowl. One of those conversations that we had from last week that I thought was good was our conversation with defensive lineman, pass rusher Charles Omenihu. It was interesting to hear him talk about this being his third chance in 5 years to play in a conference championship game, but he still had not made it to a Super Bowl. If you remember, he played for the San Francisco 49ers before he came here and signed as a free agent with the Chiefs. And you could tell how badly he wanted to not only play well in that game against Baltimore, but to get a chance to get to the Super Bowl after coming up just a bit short the last couple of years. And so I was really excited for him when he got that sack and strip and caused the fumble. And that was a big play at the time. And then I was really, it sucked to see him get hurt later on in the game with that knee injury. And then if you remember, he spoke to some media on the field, and somebody asked him, you know, are you going to miss a Super Bowl? Or he goes, do I look like someone who's going to miss a Super Bowl? I'm ready. I can't wait to play in the Super Bowl. And man, what a opportunity for him. Not only does he finally get to the Super Bowl, he gets to play against the team that he played for the past 4 years. That sucks, because yesterday we find out multiple reports that he suffered a torn ACL. And so he's obviously not going to be playing in the Super Bowl. You feel terrible for him, but he can feel good about the fact that he helped this team get to the Super Bowl. He had a big play in that game against the Ravens, but he won't get a chance to go up against his former team, the 49ers, in the big game. Does it hurt the Chiefs? Sure it does. He had 7 sacks in 11 games. 7 sacks in 11 games. But I will tell you something that is at least a little interesting. The Chiefs as a team, and it's not just about Omenihu playing and Omenihu not playing, because clearly if you could choose, you would want to have Omenihu available for the Super Bowl. But the Chiefs, in his during his 6-game suspension, were 5-1. The only game they lost during his suspension was the 21-20 season opener to the Lions. The Chiefs beat the Jags, the Bears, the Jets, the Vikings, and the Broncos without him. He came back for the Chargers game. And then, oddly enough, when he came back, that's when the team really overall became inconsistent. And after they won by 2 touchdowns against the Chargers, that's the next week is when they lost to the Broncos. And then it was such a bizarre stretch. Beat the Dolphins, lost to the Eagles. Beat the Raiders, lost to the Packers, lost to the Bills. Beat the Patriots, lost to the Raiders. Of course, that's the last time they lost. And they finished the regular season beating the Bengals and the Chargers, and they motored through the AFC playoffs. And so at least there's that confidence, hey, they can win without him. They were 5-1 without him. Also, something that could end up being a huge storyline. And I love the opportunity. The Chiefs drafted a defensive end, a pass rusher, in the first round this year. He has been a forgotten man because he has been a healthy scratch in the playoffs. But go back, and he had more playing time when Charles Omenihu was suspended. And one of the reasons his snap count decreased is because of Charles Omenihu. Felix and Udike Uzama. Here is your opportunity. You get a chance to step back in to an important role for your hometown team in the Super Bowl. So, yes, I was very disappointed to hear that Omenihu had a torn ACL and that he won't participate. But here we go again with draft picks and quality depth and players being able to step into an opportunity and perform well. Felix, FAU, here you go. Nobody roots for anyone to get hurt, but everyone hopes for an opportunity to succeed, hopes for just the opportunity to play in a game like this. Omenihu doesn't get hurt, FAU might not even suit up. He might be once again a healthy scratch. And I don't know. Maybe they're going to look at Turk Wharton, and maybe he won't get a whole bunch of snaps. Maybe he won't get a big opportunity. But I sure would hope that the first thing that they say is, okay, we drafted him for a reason, and now this opportunity is in front of him. He's spent the entire season learning this defense, getting comfortable, even when he has been inactive. He's been a part of the team, part of practice, part of the preparation. Early in the season, I mean, he had some moments, right? We remember him playing, and then it went away. There was, when a player the magnitude of Omenihu comes back, someone has to lose playing time. Someone has to lose snaps. And it was Felix. But now, I mean, just as bad as I feel for Omenihu, I'm excited for FAU, right? That's a local kid. And now he has this opportunity to step in and help this team win a championship. And so, if you're a K-State fan, be excited. And I hope, just imagine if that kid steps in and, I don't know, gets a sack, forces a fumble, just has a big play. A big play. You don't have to go in and be a superstar. You don't have to go in and be, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, which he was. But just go in there and be part of this unbelievably productive defense. Just help take up a little bit of the slack. And the Chiefs will benefit from it greatly. And so it was it's so many of you. Oh, all right, King Felix, come on. Show Brett Veach that he was right. Show this team what you can do. Show this fan base why you were the first-round pick. And so gutted for Omenihu, excited for FAU, and hopefully he'll get a chance to play and make an impact in this game. Now, look, it's not just going to be him. Turk Wharton has had a nice playoff run. That one play where it was a third down and somehow he made a terrific solo tackle on Lamar Jackson. It was great. And Turk Wharton is a very versatile defensive lineman he's been nice, right? That's the only thing you lose with Omenihu, the versatility. He can really do it all on the defensive line. And like I said, 7 sacks in the 11 regular season games. That's terrific production out of a defensive lineman. But that was the story yesterday after enjoying the big win on Monday, coming back down to earth just a little bit, hearing about Omenihu, but reminding myself, hey, Rashee Rice, the second-round pick, stud. Wanye Morris, when he was called upon due to injury, he stepped in and played well enough to make you feel like he's a part of the future. Mike Edwards got hurt in the playoffs 4th-round pick Shamari Connor stepped in. He played pretty damn well, didn't he? Well, all right. Time to go back to the well and see if this draft class can continue to help this football team. Nate Bukaty, Jay Gutierrez, your thoughts on the topic?
Yeah, it really is heartbreaking for Omenihu. As you said, it was really awesome getting a chance to talk to him last week. I saw he tweeted out an emoji of a broken heart. Can't imagine getting so close to the Super Bowl so many times, then finally making it, and then you can't play. I don't know. I mean, I guess I was really surprised to see the news yesterday. I mean, I know he got hurt in the game, but like you said, seeing the post game, the way he talked, I didn't expect to see that news. Another guy I'd throw out there that can help defensively is Mike Dana. You know, he had a couple quarterback hits in the game against the Ravens. I know we've all enjoyed the way he's played this year. They have good depth along that line. And would it stun any of us if Omenihu
It would stun me if Omenihu played.
Yeah,
and
it would.
did well.
That would stun us.
It would be stunning.
Yeah, that would be stunning. I take it back.
Yeah.
But Felix, would it stun you if he made a play in the Super Bowl? I mean, it's like MVS.
No, that's why I mentioned him in the monologue.
Yeah. We'll see. So it wouldn't stun you.
Right.
But it just seems like that's the Chiefs. That's what
Laser
they do.
gets it. He's following along.
He's paying attention.
Right.
Yeah. I did jot it down in my little notebook here. It just seems like that's what happens with the Chiefs.
I mean, they haven't said that,
Yeah.
But you put 2 and 2 together. I mean, I like Mike Dana, yes, but Mike Dana already starts. He's
Right.
already
Right.
like who? Do we spend any high draft pick on a defensive end that can step in and help
that plays that exact position.
that hasn't been active?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah.
So
Hey, big opportunity. And he doesn't have to go out, like you said, and be superhuman. Just go do your job. Listen to Spags. Do what he says. Going up against a really good team, obviously, in the 49ers. But this Chiefs defense, they've shown they can shut down the best offenses in the NFL.
absolutely.
When I saw that, I thought it was bad. It was a non-contact.
Especially when they show the replay.
Yeah.
When he went down, yeah.
When I heard him say that after the game, I was like, that's well-wishing, but, man, that looked bad.
And when he said, do I look like a guy that's not going to play in this? I'm like, yeah.
Kind of. I mean.
A little.
And that's what, I mean, it's heartbreaking for a guy like that, and especially since he's been such a vital piece to this defense. I mean, the day he came back, the first game he was back, you could feel a different kind of vibe with that defensive line. He just has an attitude on that line, and it's going to be missed. But
they know how to play without him.
Yeah,
they know how to win without him.
They do, and
they got a talented guy that should be highly motivated to be able to step in. I mean, again, this is not the best case scenario, but it's pretty good that you have a first round talent,
right,
that can step in that you haven't had to use the past couple of games. And so we talk about it all the time with running backs and with Kelsey. There's some fresh legs there too.
Absolutely, and that's kind of been the story too for this defense. Like, Bush came on the field and had a big interception. I mean, it's next man up, and that's the props to Veach and Andy Reid and the coaching staff for having that depth. I mean, you talked about it yesterday. You look at all the other teams complaining about injuries, and that's the story. It's like the game against the Ravens, the Chiefs were the injured team, and they didn't make excuses. They just had guys step up.
And Felix gets an extra week to get prepared. They have a couple days off here, but they start installing the game plan on Thursday. They've got extra time for him to get ready, get mental reps for what is a complicated offense they're going to go up against. I would think it would be nice to be able to talk to the guys in the locker room, but I would think that going up against the 49ers offense for a defensive end would be one of the more difficult offenses to face.
Well, and you saw what Purdy did to the Lions with his legs and not containing him.
Yeah.
I mean, he burned them many times, time after time. That he didn't have anything downfield. His first couple options were out, and then he just escaped the pocket and got away from some defenders and outran linebackers.
He won't have those same opportunities against the Chiefs defense.
No, I agree. But he showed the ability to be, able to get away.
If this game's close in the fourth quarter, it'll end up like the first Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl. One quarterback will make plays, the other one will not.
Which quarterback do you think will
All
make
right.
plays?
Well, the one that I said would make plays against the Ravens, and the one guy that would make some big mistakes against the Chiefs. So I'm going to stick with that.
That is awesome.
I'm going to stick with Mahomes making the big plays when he has to.
How are you doing? How are y'all doing?
I felt very strongly there was going to be some playoff Lamar that would show up on Sunday,
And it surfaced.
and he was there. So, and that's all. Hey, the difference in these games, 2, 3, 4 plays. That's it. The biggest play in that game was the fumble by Zay Flowers, and then right after that, Lamar saying there's a couple of guys down there, but Lamar, it was 3, forcing the ball into triple coverage. Who knows if they score either one of those touchdowns? But they didn't. They didn't, because the Chiefs defense was too good. The Chiefs defense was better. So that it's just that's why I picked the Chiefs in the playoffs. And overall, over the I get teased by Jeff Chadilla. Oh, you gonna pick the Chiefs again? The record's pretty good in the postseason.
Turned out pretty well for you. It's turned out pretty well for you.
I'm Mahomes is 14-3, which means I'm 14-3.
Thank you, my friend.
I'm feeling good. If you could walk around and boast about a 14-3 record in postseason play as a prognosticator. Hello. That's good. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Okay, two of the 3 losses to Tom Brady, and he's not around anymore. And Joe Burrow, they ain't playing Joe Burrow. So I feel good. I feel great. I feel great about this matchup. I love it. I felt like the Super Bowl was played in Baltimore on Sunday. No disrespect to the 49ers, and no disrespect to the Lions, but I love the quarterback matchup between Mahomes and Goff or Mahomes and Brock Purdy. And I previously loved the coaching. I have loved the coaching matchup between Andy Reid and Spags and Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers staff.
That's it for me, man.
I've enjoyed it.
I'll take Spags against Brock Purdy all day long. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so am I. I like it. I like it a lot. And thank you, Vegas, for allowing the 49ers to open up as favorites. That's good, too.
Mm-hmm. That blows my mind.
Keep the Chiefs as underdogs.
It just blows my mind.
Why?
Well, because, if you of everything you just said,
Well, I mean,
have we not learned by now?
they're just going by the rosters. They're just going by the teams.
Have we not learned by now?
Well, I mean, all I'm saying,
That going by the rosters?
I agree.
I really don't understand what they're going by, to be honest with you. Like, these men are 14-3 in the postseason. Together.
Look, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but what I'm saying is this is what Vegas is looking at, and obviously, they're trying to get as much money waged on this game as possible, so they're going to set a line where it's a real tasty line, and I expect that line to move though.
What's it at this morning?
I'll tell you currently what it's at right now. We are looking at the Chiefs +2.
So it's moving in the 49ers direction. Like, people are betting on the Niners.
I haven't looked at where the money's going, but that usually says so.
ESPN still got it at 1.5.
DraftKings has it at 2, and I'm going to maybe throw something on it right now.
Jump on that while you can.
Yep. a little here and there. I had a good weekend. Why not? First Super Bowl bet of the year.
What did you get? What did you lock in at?
2 + 2 right now. Well, you know,
What do you think it ends up at?
1 minus 1 for the Niners.
Brock Purdy is a favorite in the Super Bowl over Patrick Mahomes. That sentence right there.
Well, I mean,
And Brock Purdy is not.
I think there's 21 other guys playing too, but
That one's kind of important. Though.
yeah, it is.
Relatively. I think we saw that last weekend. Hey, Brock Purdy's played really well. He's a good player. He's better. He's not. I don't think he gets as much respect as he should most of the time, but
I don't know. I haven't been. I mean, it's great. It's a great story. Real good story. Real nice.
he played really well in the second half last game.
It's a real good story. 7th round draft pick. It's real nice.
He did an awesome job firing that ball right off that Lions player's helmet, so it would bounce right to Ayuk.
It's hard for me to believe that the Chiefs are underdogs after beating that combination of the 89 49ers and 85 Bears and
2000 Ravens.
whatever else they were compared to. So now do we all come to an agreement that maybe that wasn't one of the greatest NFL teams of all time?
I mean, I think
Maybe
that's a
it's-
fair conclusion to draw.
I don't want to get out there too far on the limb.
Don't speak for me, but I'll agree with that.
Okay. All right. Hey, they were DVOA and analytics darlings and everything else, but that's also a reminder that it's also okay to trust your eyeballs sometimes. Analytics, DVOA, all that, wonderful tools to help you assess a football team. But if that's all you rely on, then you're going to miss some things. You're going to miss some human element. And you're going to miss the fact that one quarterback was going to feel the pressure and make some mistakes and make some bad throws on Sunday. And the other quarterback was going to thrive in that environment and thrive under pressure. And throw a 33-yard bomb to MVS to seal the game, like we all predicted. So, and I feel good about that coming up in 2 weeks in Vegas. Now, there's been so many comparisons now between the Chiefs. It seems like people are even more willing now to talk about the Chiefs and compare them to the Patriots and how the Patriots dynasty progressed. It's always a reminder that there were times that we only think about, Tom Brady winning Super Bowls. He lost to some inferior quarterbacks. He has those losses to Eli Manning. He lost to Nick Foles. I know you love him, Jake, but still, it's, when you think about that now.
Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles.
Right. When you think about wait, what now? What happened?
That is wild.
What did, So that's always out there, but there's always a chance, again, as he builds his resume, that, Mahomes is too good to let that happen. He'll lose some playoff games like he has to elite quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, Tom Brady twice, but you're going to have to be that to beat him in the postseason, or at least so far from what we've seen.
Wasn't the undefeated Patriots team? Wasn't that Giants team that beat them like 9-7 in the regular season, something like that?
I believe they were a wild card.
They were like they had gone on a late run to win some games just to get into the playoffs, and of course that took maybe the greatest play in Super Bowl history with that helmet catch to happen. But those things can happen. But
Yeah, we've seen it.
man, it just it can happen. The 49ers are a good team. So, but
10-6.
they were 10-6, okay.
Yeah.
Against an undefeated team, though.
He got him twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spags. Yeah, that's right. Spags on our side, buddy.
Yeah.
He's not on the Niners side. God, what a game that defense played.
And look, and Spags, if they get this done, and again, we talk so much about historically, what is Andy Reid building? What is his legacy? Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. Spags is going to have to be considered one of the greatest defensive coordinators in NFL history. Period. I don't care about what happened to him as a head coach in St. Louis. That can't take away from what he is as a defensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. And when you have on your resume you were the defensive coordinator when you beat at the time the highest scoring team in NFL history in Tom Brady, and then you get brought in to this Chiefs organization and replace Bob Sutton, who clearly was a fine man but holding this team back. And you think about the defensive performances we've seen since Spags has been here in the postseason. Mm-hmm. One of the best, and then if you want to qualify and say one of the best postseason defensive coordinators of all time, yeah. But he's one of the best defensive coordinators this league has ever seen, and we need to start saying that repeatedly, because it's not just Andy and Patrick and Travis. Those are huge reasons, but Spags. That's why all those players had the shirts. In Spags, we trust, with him with laser eyes.
Lasers.
By the way, the shirt's available now. Justin Reed tweeted that out. A portion of the proceeds will go to his foundation.
Yep. But
a steep price of $65 for the shirt, for the T-shirt. Part of it goes to charity, which I understand, and so I've not talked myself into that yet. But you know what? You know what? It's on the table.
DraftKings paying for it.
There it is. And that's how you justify that. Very good. Do it. Do it right now, and know that it'll go, some of the proceeds will go to Justin Reed's charity. So that helps. We'll take a break. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. show. Let me take a brief moment away from the Chiefs and sports. First, we have Laser the Intern is going to make a quick stop in the studio,
right.
So we check in with him. It's been a minute, and he's been loyally showing up for duty. Jake, has he been doing all right?
Yeah, it's been good. Makes good coffee.
Have you taught him anything, though?
No.
Well, Laser the Intern, have you learned anything of substance during this internship? Do you feel like are we getting there? Is there anything that you picked up? So how long has it been since you've been in studio? It's been at least a month or so or more.
Yeah, I think this is my 8th week here.
Okay, so how have you actually learned anything?
Yeah, like I said when I first came on a few weeks ago, just how much goes into producing all this, and kind of opened my eyes to how much
goes into it.
He's here super he's probably here by the time I wake up in the morning. He's already
Yeah, he wakes up like at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and I wake up
absolutely unnecessary.
Have you started taking ice baths just as a way to prep?
I am not.
Okay.
6 minutes this morning.
6 minutes.
It's warm out. It's
So
like
is
38.
this
6 minutes. Doug.
after spending 8 weeks here? Do you say, I like this profession, I'd like to pursue it, or do you say, no, thank you, not for me?
It's definitely still something I want to pursue. Me and my brother have always wanted to do something like this. Have a talk show or something. So
What does your brother say about all this?
about me being on having an internship.
Yeah, the internship, and does he?
Yeah, he thinks it's super cool, and he's thinking hopefully one day he gets to have an internship here and kind of get the opportunity as well.
Why don't you plug your podcast again?
Plug it again.
Yeah,
Okay.
what do you got? Where can people listen to it?
So YouTube, and we also have it on Spotify as well.
Okay, now that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
What's the name of it on Spotify? What do we look up?
Laser Bros podcast.
Now, was there a special spelling again? Is it?
So on YouTube, I changed the.
Okay.
There's no more 6099.
Yeah, we didn't get that one. Although we kind of like that.
Yeah.
Seemed like it was geared towards us. but-
Unique.
So they're just Laser Bros.
Yeah. LAZER.
Okay.
Bros and then podcast.
All right. Are you getting any feedback? You getting any? You feel like you're building a fan base, or?
Yeah, there's been people who have reached out to me and all that, so it's definitely going in the right direction. But
That's
yeah,
right.
we're still work in progress.
Did you? What did you think of the Chiefs' win over the Baltimore Ravens?
I mean, I was super impressed. Me and my brother, we kind of argue about it. He's a huge Lamar guy, and I kind of have my skepticism about Lamar when it comes to the playoffs.
Right.
And we kind of saw that, come to fruition again. So, yeah, I was really impressed by the defense, and the offense. First two drives were able to put points on the board, and defense just held down the Ravens for the majority of the game.
Did your brother learn this lesson about playoff Lamar?
I hope so.
There's a regular season Lamar, and then there's a playoff Lamar.
Yeah,
Does he understand that now?
I'll have to talk to him about it on our next episode.
Yeah.
but,
Hey, you know what? Tell him.
I'll
Drag
make
him for this
yeah,
one.
I'll make sure to point it out.
All right. That's sure. I mean, you got to establish your dominance.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's Laser Bros, but then, I mean, come on. Just like there's a hierarchy.
Yes,
you
right.
know.
Right. There's also Mario Brothers, but
Right.
Luigi's the second
Is it
guy.
Luigi?
I mean, the second guy.
He's
Yeah,
the
Mario.
sidekick, yeah.
Right. He's a sidekick. All right.
It's Mario and Luigi.
Well, so what do you? What's your early prediction for the Super Bowl? What do you feel?
Oh, I'm confident in the Chiefs. San Francisco, the first two games kind of start out the game slow, and if you do that against the Chiefs, they've kind of shown in the second half
Right.
that they're going to hold teams down. I mean, I think they allowed 3 points to Baltimore second half last week and 7 to Buffalo in the second half, and then 0 to Miami. So
That's
if San
right.
Francisco starts out slow, I don't know if they'll be able to recover.
They're not overturning a 17-point deficit against the Chiefs.
No. Brock Purdy, I think, will throw interception this game. I mean, he had a pick dropped in the first round that they played in, and then he had another interception last week.
Now, how old are you?
I just turned 24.
Okay, you're 24, reasonable age. I don't think you'll have an answer for this question. This is a pop culture question.
Okay.
But if you do have one, you can certainly weigh in.
Okay.
This is for Nate and Jake. I think this is a very difficult question. I just went through it, and I came up with a couple of answers. I don't go with the normal answers because I like certain movies. Just I'm not going to go with the popular picks. One of my favorite actors over my life is celebrating his 94th birthday today, and that would be Gene Hackman. And also one of my favorite stories about Gene Hackman, when I was a young man in the 80s, my dad and my mom took me to Vegas, and then my dad took me to a fight at the Las Vegas Hilton, and it was a championship fight on HBO between Michael Nunn and Sumbu Kalambe. And because I thought it would be a fight that would go rounds, because my dad didn't we're not going to go to one of those, first round knockouts. I go, well, this will be and Michael Nunn landed an unbelievable punch in the first round and knocked out Sumbu Kalambe. But anyway, there were a few celebrities in the crowd. Gene Hackman was one of them. And so we saw Gene Hackman standing in line. I've told this story before, Jake. You know where it's headed. Standing in line for concessions, right? Yeah. And my mom lost her blank because she loved Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman was a very handsome man to her. Yeah. Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
And so, and my dad was egging her on. And I'm just standing there. I don't know how old I was, 12 or whatever. And he goes, go do something. Come on, go do something. And we didn't have a camera with us. There's no flip phones. There are no, laser. There weren't cameras in the phones back then. Okay. So we really didn't even have a phone either. So go do something. And so I don't know. I remember, I'll never forget this. And I'm thinking, I want to get an autograph, and I'm trying to find something. So I've got my program from the fight. And before I could go up to ask him for an autograph, and he was just standing to the side of the concession line, and he just had a hot dog, and he was eating his hot dog. My mom just walked up to him and goosed him.
No way.
She grabbed Gene Hackman's ass, and I'm watching her. And he went like that. And she goes, I'm just a big fan. And he goes, well, it seems like you are. And he kind of laughed about it, and that was it. And I'm like, what? So then he scurries off, no autograph for me, And my dad's like, why'd you do that? And she goes, when am I going to get a chance to do that again? I go, that's a good way to put it.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. I get it. And it became a great story. I guess that's better than an autograph. Than my mom goosed
Hell
Gene
yeah.
Hackman.
That's
right?
way better than her name scribbled on a piece of paper.
I already know what your answer will be.
He's so awesome. I know what his answer would be,
All right,
too.
easy.
I know two of his answers.
You won't know my answers. I have 4. You might. You should.
Well,
I picked 4.
French Connection probably is one of them.
Steve St. John Sr.
Right.
I give that to him.
Right.
Yeah, that's what.
I grew up on
You
that.
have to watch that.
Sit down and watch this.
So I'll defer that. I'll give my dad. That's got to be his favorite Gene Hackman. Although there's some other ones in there.
Right.
Favorite Gene Hackman movie. And then
number one. I don't know if I can just say number one.
There's so many.
I know.
Do you know who Gene Hackman is, Laser the Intern?
I do not.
Well, this is what we're gonna do. Wow. Is we're gonna have you research over the next hour or so. Come back to us and tell us if you've ever seen a Gene Hackman movie, because maybe you have. You just don't realize it. Oh, boo the kid. The last Gene Hackman movie was 2004.
So
he's been out for a while.
Oh, has he?
Right. Wow. Although he's still living, doing well.
Yeah, but he's
right.
He's enjoying retirement.
That's right.
Hoosiers is great.
See, that's what everyone will say.
Right, everybody say Hoosiers, but that's not what I mean.
And I like Hoosiers. It's just not my favorite Gene Hackman movie.
I mean, Unforgiven, probably.
Okay.
I mean that.
All right.
I don't know.
All right. Start calling you Little Bill.
Don't, please.
And then we know what Jake's is, or we know what Nate's is.
Royal Tenenbaums,
right?
Yeah.
Anything else?
I mean, he was great in the Superman movies with Christopher Reeves.
So,
I mean, he was Lex Luthor.
What do you think my number one is?
Probably Superman 3. He was in
Superman 2.
2, that's
Superman 2 would have to be. He was great as Lex Luthor. He was great as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
The other ones that I have, this movie was great, but it's kind of off the radar for you. No Way Out.
Oh, yeah.
With him and Kevin Costner and Sean Young.
It's a great movie.
Great movie. Unforgiven, which was fantastic. But the one that I probably have watched most next to Superman 2, this damn thing's on all the time. And whenever it's on, I watch it. And he was such I don't want to say slimy, but he was such a kind of slimy attorney that was just he was great in this. It was when he played Tom Cruise's mentor in The Firm.
Yeah.
As Avery Tolar. Remember?
Oh yeah.
And that movie was great because
Wilford
Wilford Brimley was a villain.
Yep.
And got cold cocked by Tom Cruise at one point. I go, Tom Cruise just beat the hell out of Wilford Brimley. What movie am I watching? But it
Talking
was
about
great.
diabetes.
Yeah. Right.
Checking blood sugar.
Right. But Gene Hackman was great in that movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But there's like there's a million
he's been in so
others.
many good movies.
You're looking at the body of work like how do you
Burning.
How do you pick?
You
He was great in Get Shorty.
You've seen Young Frankenstein? You ever seen that?
Sure.
Yeah. He's
I forgot he was in that.
The blind guy. I mean, Gene Hackman is a phenomenal actor.
It's funny that you guys knew my answer better than I did because the honest answer was I was like, please tell me what movies he's been in because like I know who he is.
Jesus.
But I can't think like I don't.
Coach Norm Dale.
I can't remember any of them off the top of my head
The
because I just don't know
Replacements,
anything.
Enemy of the State,
I was gonna say that's an
Absolute
underrated.
Power.
I mean, especially me being who I am, Enemy of the State.
He was hilarious in The Birdcage with Robin Williams.
Birdcage, yeah.
Remember when he played the senator? Remember showing up to dinner to meet the parents of the son that his daughter's dating?
Yes. Birdcage.
The Firm, Unforgiven.
Crimson Tide.
Like you said, Mississippi Burning. The Superman movies, No Way Out was Hoosiers. You don't remember Hoosiers? You wouldn't have got that?
Yeah, I mean, and well, like when you said Royal Tenenbaums, I was like, oh yeah, he was great in Royal Tenenbaums. He was awesome.
Oh, he was. He was great. Bringing the cheeseburger. He's dying of cancer.
He has the cancer.
He's got the
he does not have the cancer.
The Conversation.
Eating burgers.
French Connection. The Poseidon Adventure. Good God.
Yeah, he's.
So, shout out to
Happy
Gene
birthday.
Hackman.
Yeah.
Happy 94.
Man.
94th birthday. Even though Laser the Intern has no idea who you are, and for a minute Nate didn't either, so that's fine.
I knew he was. I mean, I know that name. But for some reason, I had the dad in Elf pictured in my head. Who's that? What's that?
James Caan?
James Caan. I had his.
That's
I was
Sonny.
picturing him.
That's Sonny from
Sonny
Godfather.
Corleone.
Yeah.
That's Sonny.
Oh, that was Sonny from The Godfather.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's Sonny Corleone.
Yeah,
Man.
that's Sonny.
He recently passed away.
Yep. His son, Scott Conn.
We will take a break, and we'll tell Nate more about famous actors and Laser
In
the
movies
Intern.
that I like.
Laser the Intern. Yeah, that's why he had such a
I
weird
know.
look. I know the answer. He goes, "What's my answer going to be?"
I was
don't
thinking
even
like,
know.
oh God, I can't wait to hear this.
Was it
He
right?
oh man, yeah, heck yeah, I love that movie, and he was great in it.
All right, we'll take a
Bomber.
break. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHP. Welcome back to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. You want to play some Andy Reid here? You want to do a short segment? You tell me. You're the boss.
I'm up for whatever.
A lot of people say you are.
I'm up for whatever. We can play a cut or two if you want.
No.
We got
Nate Bukaty, tell people where you were yesterday.
no.
No.
You're listening to Sports Radio 810 WHB in Kansas City. Just
Not
get that
likely.
out of the way.
I was in Fort Lauderdale yesterday doing the play-by-play on Apple TV of Intern Miami versus Al Hilal,
Lauderdale,
which is basically the Saudi Pro League has been spending millions and millions of dollars on players and soccer, and so it was Lionel Messi and Inter Miami playing a preseason game in a tournament over there. And so for me, it was a massive bucket list moment because I got to do play-by-play on a global broadcast of what I think is the greatest player, at least in my lifetime and maybe to ever live. And I got to broadcast a goal that he scored. So I got to make a Lionel Messi goal call, which was pretty cool. So that's where I was yesterday. Flew home. The game was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, since it was being played over in Saudi Arabia. So I flew home last night on Southwest, and I tweeted out last night that on the flight home, the Southwest flight attendants, a lot of times they say funny things when they get on the intercom when they're making their announcements, which is I enjoy.
They have
it.
good fun on those
Yeah,
flights.
I enjoy it. They make jokes. They say funny things.
My
and,
aunt's a flight attendant for Southwest.
oh, is that right?
Yeah, she has a great time.
Well, I doubt it was her yesterday
No.
because this lady said as we were descending into Kansas City, she's making her final announcements, and she says, "Thank you for flying Southwest. Welcome to Kansas City. Congratulations on making another Super Bowl. You guys do know that nobody else is rooting for you, right?" And the whole plane kind of laughed and
That's
chuckled.
not funny.
I think
But it
she
is
was
true, though.
I think she was a Niners fan. But, hey, good. That means we're great.
Right.
That's what it means to be the best. And people get tired of it, and they want to see somebody else win. Good. Get used to it. Because the Chiefs aren't going anywhere, baby. Actually, I do think there's like millions and millions of new Chiefs fans because of one Taylor Swift. So I think she was wrong on that level. But I think most diehard NFL fans,
I think most average NFL fans.
most average NFL fans are probably cheering for the Niners. Good.
Oh yeah, see a team like San Francisco that's never had any success
Right.
finally get over the hump and get a trophy.
People don't remember anything that happened last week.
They're not likable.
I don't care if people like the Chiefs or not. We love them.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that love the Chiefs. She's wrong.
It is different, though. I mean, you think about the first Super Bowl the Chiefs were in the of the Mahomes era, right?
The first one in 50 years.
LIV. Like, it seemed like everybody was like, oh, what a great story. Chiefs are back in the Super Bowl, first time in 50 years, or whatever it was. And everybody's rooting for the Chiefs against the Niners that time. And now it seems like quite the opposite. And I don't know. I think Twitter probably skews that a lot. I don't know if it gives you a fair dichotomy.
Twitter's totally accurate
Yeah.
of
Perfect reflection of real life.
everything going on in reality.
It is the real world.
It mirrors reality.
So I believe that everybody is against the Chiefs. See, thank you.
The good thing is the one group
thanks for
of people,
clearing that up for
the
me.
one group of people we need on our side, the refs, we got them.
Oh, it's tough.
In our back
ask
pocket,
Zay
baby.
Flowers how tough it is.
I can't get enough of reading that garbage.
Have you heard it? You haven't listened to it.
Oh,
Oh, well, you can play that when you come back.
Oh,
if
that'd
you
be
want.
good. I love it.
We'll take a break back after this on WHB.
Here's the whistle. It's messy. It's top corner. It's clinical as always. Messi's got his first preseason goal in 2024, and it's 3-2.